Okay, this is Mario once again with MIA Microflight, and in this video I'm going to be talking a little more about the how to make a wheel hub, the ones that have the 4 bolts, using some washers. This is a large 4.5 inch diameter, outside diameter washer by, I believe this is 2.5. And so I have another washer here. This is the washer that I use to take out to try to remove the wheel from the Yerf dog, as a sort of a lip here for the 3-jaw clamp, but it did not work out. So, but it was it was a good idea, but I just did not have enough clearance here for the jaws to grab onto. When I was done welding that, I welded 2 of these washers. These are about 3/16, almost 1/4 inch in thickness. These washers. These are a little bit thinner. These, I would say, they're 3/16. These are about 1/4 inch, and I got both of these from Amazon. I did not find washers that were bigger than this size for the price that I was willing to pay. I think I paid like $15 for 5 of these, and kind of similar to I think I got 10 of these for about $15. Anytime you start getting into the 5-inch, 6-inch size washers or metal plates, you're talking about an easy $10-15 each. So, in order to save money, because the point in doing this is to save a little money here, not little, but a good amount of money, at least half the price of what you would pay for one of those hubs that are already made. Those hubs for a 1-inch axle with the keys, they run anywhere from $30. I think the last one I saw was like $34, depending where you buy them. And some of them don't even have the through hole with the slot here. They have a step in them, for axles that terminate in 3/4 inch threaded ends. So I decided to make my own, and so I've been kind of pondering on this for a while, just trying to find ways to resolve this issue here of having the this hub right here as part of this, and as an assembly that you can weld together, and you can make your own hubs that way. I found these sections right here from BMI. They were about $5, I believe. So I ordered some of them. I'm still waiting for them, and they're taking a little bit longer because I ordered them via the just the more cost-effective way as far as shipping. So I just have to wait for them. But in the meantime, I've been playing around with some other ideas here. These are the bearings that came out from this Yerf dog, and in the process of pounding this, trying to get these bearings out, I kind of messed up, and using these also as a makeshift jig, to try to pry out one of these ball bearings. I ended up bending these beyond repair. I mean, these could be repaired if you had a press that can press these things, with a lot of tonnage. I do have a jaw puller that I can use to rig this up and sort of straighten this out, but I'm not going to attempt to do that because it's more trouble. So at least 1, 2, 3, 4 of these plates are still good. One is not painted, but these are still good, meaning that they're pretty flat, and they encapsulate the ball bearing. This is one of the original ball bearings. It's kind of loose, so I'm not going to use this for. I'm not going to put this back on the go-kart. The other 2 are kind of similar appearance because I cleaned them up, but they get a. I use just a cooking vinegar, to remove most of the rust, and I used a little bit of denatured alcohol. Denatured alcohol is kind of a water mix, with alcohol, so it started getting a little rusty again, and that's why you see it some of these rusted areas here. So I brushed this one as best as I could. This could be cleaned a little bit better with rust rust remover, more industrial type rust removers, but I decided to just keep it like this for the sake of this video and explanation what I'm going to explain here. So as an option, while I wait for these parts, I decided to see if maybe there's another option to doing this. If you don't have access to these parts, or these are still too much money for some of you viewers out there, you can reuse these bearings, and that way, these things don't go to waste. Because what are you going to do with a bearing that's a little goosey, loosey goosey? It's you can't use this back on the cart, especially during a rebuild. You don't want to use old parts that are loose and that are not going to give you a good performance on the cart. I mean, the whole process of rebuilding a car is to end up with something better than what it was before. And although, like I said, a couple of these washers, there are three not washers, three ball bearings. There are three sets of a set of three ball bearings in the Yerf dog 3202 or 3220, something like that. I always forget the numbers. But anyway, the one that I've been working on. So you have two outer bearings and bearing supports. Typically, you only have two, but in these carts, because it's well reinforced, there's one in the center, right underneath the motor mounting plate, which really solidifies that setup of the whole axle underneath it, and so it's a pretty sturdy setup. So in order to make these hubs, for the wheels using these ball bearings, was my point, is that you can take one of these. This is the least of the least perfect one of the three of them that I took out from the original from the cart. I decided, this has the 1 inch inside diameter for the 1 inch outside diameter shaft that needs to go through here. I said, what if we can just put this here and just weld the thing? Make it concentric. You will need to have a jig, some kind of a jig. I will need to make a jig. When I do this, if I decide to go this route, it is an option. And in this video, I'm just putting out these options here so that people can have an idea of what what the possibilities are with some of these parts. And so this would be another way to make that hub. Get these washers here. Of course, this washer has to be drilled, at these 4 points here. And it's got to be drilled precise, to the distance between these holes is 4 inches. 4 inches. So the diameter here is 2 inch radius, 4 inch diameter circle. And so you have 4 of these bolts. So 4 of these bolts would go right here once this is drilled. This washer, this is kind of like a gap filling washer, would go right there, and then this would go in there. Or you can just, this has a little gap there, and that's why I'm using this other washer here as a filler. But you can essentially do that, or you can even use one of these plates right here, to encapsulate the bearing and just weld this whole setup right here, sort of like that. And the holes will have to be almost on the edge of this plate here that supports the washer. So that's kind of, at least it allows the this plate to be concentric with the ball bearing here. But this has to be, somehow it needs to be concentric with this one, and that can be done, with shims or with just a jig, to make this more precise in centering before welding this. This can be welded. The holes can be drilled on the outside right here. 4 bolts installed, and you have your hub. So this would end up being something like this. Once this is done, of course, this is not going to pivot once it's welded. And then you have this hub right here. Another ball bearing, such as these, these used ball bearings can be used on the other side, to make this make the hub a little bit longer, because this will give you about an inch. I would say about an inch in depth. And so if you put another one at the other side, you have a 2 inch hub that will work really well and will be nice and sturdy, for a wheel support, to support those golf cart wheels that come with a four hole bolt pattern. So I acquired some of those wheels. I got a few sets of those. Inexpensive, you can get them. If you shop around, you can probably find them for about $40. $10-15 wheel and tire, and you can get some semi decent tread on some of these tires, and some not so good. But for that price, you can't beat it. The more important things in those sets are the wheel, the rims, the steel rims, more than the tires, because that's what's important here. If they're good, then you just buy some new tires, and you're set to go. But this would be the hub that holds those wheels in place, with the four bolts. Just another option to making the hub is I've been kind of burning some brain cells here, trying to figure out how can I do this. And this, I just stumbled on this while I was in my shop cleaning these parts, and I go, what, I can't use this, but I don't want to throw this away. Is there any way that I can use it? Of course, you can do stuff like this. You can weld it. That'll keep this nice and tight. And it doesn't matter if you weld it with the bolts on top of the bolts, or or there's no need to take out the bolts. You just drop a couple of welds, 4 welds at opposite ends, and then maybe a bead around here, and you have a solid hub there. Once you attach also this other sort of washer retainer to this other bigger washer, or you can do it with another filler washer, provided that all these things are done concentric. The jig to make this concentric, I'm imagining it would have to be some kind of, you can machine that down on the lathe, just a piece of a block of wood with this dimension here to that depth, and then do another step, like a step sort of post made from wood, that you can set that one there, and then you can set this one on top of that, another step to that diameter, then another step to the 1 inch inside diameter, and you have a concentric stepped post that you can put all these together, and that'll give you a precise setup or fixture to weld these parts all together. So that's another option, in addition to my other option that I already explained, in my other video, using these 2 washers and these well-done hubs. These are called well-done hubs, from BMI. If you can get those, you can do pretty much the same thing that I explained in my other video, and also I'm kind of I'm indicating here. So those are 2 options. I mean, there's probably some other options that you can do with other parts. I mean, you can use even something like this, if you have some spare sprockets that already have the hub. These are solid parts. I mean, they're solid steel and very hefty parts, very heavy too. So something like this could also be turned into a wheel adapter hub, for the four bolt pattern wheels, that like I said, that golf carts come with, and they're designed for golf carts. So it's another way to do it with these things. Or if you can find something similar that's cheaper than the actual wheel hubs, they're designed with the 4 bolts. Anything, if you can do anything for under $15, I think it would be worth the effort in doing it yourself. Anything that starts getting $20 to $25, you're better off just buying the part. Unless you're somebody like me that likes to build these things from scratch. Then if you get joy out of that, then it's well justified, the cost, even if it's a little more than what I just explained here, $15, $20. So this is my take on some of these things. I have not stumbled. I've been looking through videos to see, who if there's some other creative ways of doing these things, but I have not stumbled on them, and that's the reason why I'm doing these videos also, because I anytime I don't stumble on something that's already done, I end up posting a video in the way that I think could be done. If anybody out there that's watching this video has some other ideas, or has a link to another video that shows some other options or similar options, please put it in the comments. Put the link in the comments. I would really appreciate that information, just for the sake of reference. Mario, once again, thanks for watching.